What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy. Welcome to our daily show. We got some big stuff for you guys here in this video. The U.S. issues yet another stern warning to China. That's right. Also, I got a special guest for you guys here in this video because today is my birthday. That's right. Yeah. So, I guess happy birthday to me. Thank you so much for liking and sharing these videos. And if you've been with me for a while, you might know what birthday it is for me here. If you don't, feel free to take a guess down below in the comment section, and you'll see my special guest later on in this video. So let's jump right in, and here we go. The U.S. issues yet another stern warning to China. Yeah, things between US, China, Russia, and North Korea really getting to a uncomfortable point. You can see here, Pentagon, China will face, quote, consequences if it provides lethal aid to Russia. And the thing is, we don't really know if they already are. Who knows what actually goes on between shipments between China and Russia? But here's what the Pentagon is saying today, and China's not happy about it. The U.S. has now given several cautionary warnings to China as concerns mount that Beijing will step up their support for Russia's war in Ukraine. Pentagon Deputy Press Secretary Sabrina Singh told reporters yesterday that there will certainly be consequences for China should they deepen their relationship with Russia. And who really knows how deep it is right now? Are they providing them lethal support, weapons, and supplies right now already? Are they giving them money under the table already? The deputy press secretary for the Pentagon said, quote, "We haven't seen them give lethal aid to Russia at this time for the war, but they also haven't taken that off the table." They declined to comment on what those consequences would look like, though. This comes on the heels of similar warnings from Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Linda Thomas Greenfield. Over the weekend, Blinken said China has supplied non lethal aid to Russia and is considering sending lethal aid to Russia. Now, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said that he has warned his counterpart in China to not do this. And now they're sending yet another warning to China. So now China is not happy about this. In fact, China said that I think it's somewhere along the lines of, quote, United States is in no position to tell China what to do. Yeah. But I will say that China does rely on the US for selling a lot of their goods, right? Think about all the stuff that China sells to the United States, all the stuff that is manufactured in China. But on the other hand, the United States is kind of reliant on getting a lot of our goods manufactured in China. So you guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments. Who's more reliant on who in that relationship? If there was kind of a Cold War situation here between us and China, where we went cold turkey on something like, the war in Ukraine between Russia and China, and we had to sanction China and basically said, well, we're not going to let you ship anything over here anymore. Would that be a sanction on them or a sanction on us? You can let me know your thoughts on that, because that would basically probably, remember the run on toilet paper that we had, back at the beginning of the pandemic? Imagine if we weren't allowed to ship anything from China anymore. It would be a lot more than just bare shelves for toilet paper. There'd be a lot of bare shelves for a lot of things. The U.S. just does not have enough manufacturing capacity to make everything. We've been reliant on overseas manufacturing for a lot of things for a long time. Also, the fact that they just make a lot of things cheaper. So it would take I don't know how long for the United States to make all these extra factories. Remember that China has 1.4 billion people, which we only have 330 million people. So They have like over 4 times our population in than we have. Yeah, so you could take 4 of the United States and put it there in China, and that's how much population they have. So they got a lot of people to make a lot of goods, and we just don't have the amount of people to make all that stuff, and we don't have the a lot that much manufacturing. And we just charge a lot more for labor. I mean, you look at like Walmart and Amazon are now hiring. Their average hiring rate across the country is, I think, 15, $16 an hour nowadays. It's just not what they're hiring people at over in China. Yeah, and of course, I know their currency is different, but um, yeah, if we had to manufacture everything here in the United States, we're just not set up for it. We just don't have enough people to do it, and our labor rate's just much higher. You think about inflation right now. If we had to make every single thing here in the United States right now, your grocery bill and your household good bill would be a lot more. Now, of course, perishable food and stuff like that, most of that is made here in the United States or, grown maybe here in the United States. I mean, some fruit and stuff is imported from other countries, not really from China. But, it is what it is. Let me know if you think it's going to come to that. Um, threatening China, is that the right way to do this? How else do you say, hey, don't supply Ukraine with, or don't supply Russia with lethals? How else do you go about this? And then on the other hand, you have some other people saying, how deep are we going to get into this? How deep are we going to get into this war over there, and when does it end? Because at this point, we're on the eve of the 1 year anniversary, and we're now going into year 2 of the war, and it's nowhere close to being over. Yeah. So now when you kind of think about that, going into year 2, how much longer will we be sitting here a year from now saying, wow, we've now gone 2 years into this war. What happens next? Will the US be providing money and support, tanks and aircraft, anti-aircraft and etc. to Ukraine a whole nother year from now? Remember that the support is really waning for Ukraine now, a full year into it, especially Republican support in the House, not as much in the Senate. Remember, the Republicans control the House now, and that's kind of waning here. So that could be a significant setback for Ukraine. But you also got to think about this: is do we want Putin to win this war? Because that's ultimately what is at stake here. Um, yeah, and I got an upcoming video here coming for you guys about how Putin's actually building his army, and not what you would think about, not what you would know about here. Yeah, it's actually pretty concerning here. We'll go over that here in the next upcoming video or two. But yeah, so ultimately, does Putin end up winning this war? Especially if they don't get any more, so if Ukraine doesn't get any more support from the United States. Yeah, so remember, the vast majority of support from that goes to Ukraine is basically, tanks, anti-aircraft stuff to defend their country. So how does this end? How do we prevent this from going a whole nother year? Imagine if you lived in Ukraine. Yeah. Meanwhile, tensions from Russia really, really high right now. Putin's ally, who's basically the previous president here, um, who was actually an interim president between Putin's multiple terms, fires back at Biden's Poland speech here with a nuclear warning here just last night. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev hit back at the US here yesterday, warning that his country reserved the right to use its nuclear arsenal to defend itself after a speech in Poland by President Biden following his surprise visit to Ukraine, saying, quote, after all, this guy's basically the number 2 in command, kind of. I mean, it's debatable who would be, but behind Putin, saying, quote, after all, it is obvious to all reasonable forces that if the United States wants the defeat of Russia, then we are on the verge of a world conflict. He currently serves as the deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council, said in a post on Telegram. If the United States wants to defeat Russia, then we have the right to defend ourselves with any weapon, including nuclear. Yeah. This message from Medvedev, who was the president from 2008 to 2018. So he was the Russian president for 10 years and the country's prime minister until 2020 about nuclear weapons comes after Russian President Vladimir Putin said earlier this week that he intended to pull Russia from the New START Arms nuclear treaty, which is an agreement between Russia and the US to limit their ability to produce and launch nuclear weapons. Yeah, so it's a fine line, a fine dance here of how this is going to play out going into year number 2. I really don't know how we end the war. Russia doesn't want to end the war without taking over part of Ukraine, and Ukraine doesn't want to give up any of their land. And now China's involved, and North Korea's nuclear saber rattling here as well. So we'll see. So here is my special guest here for my birthday, my son Julian.
What's up, guys? It's Jimmy, Julian, Mom and Dad, and Ellen, and Steve, and Frankie, and Nana here.
What's up, guys? We're here for Daddy's birthday. Yay! Are you excited for Daddy?
Yeah.
Julian, how old do you think Daddy is?
49.
Did he say 29?
He said 49.
Oh, take another guess.
I'm not that old.
78, 90, 40.
70, 90, 40. Take a real guess. What is your real guess? How many years old do you say Daddy is?
Well, I told him like an hour ago.
Oh, well, he probably doesn't remember.
24, 14.
No, for real. What's his real age? How many years old is Daddy?
14.
14.
We'll take it.
And next he's gonna be 15.
Sounds good.
And how old are you going to be here soon?
Oh, yeah. How old are you
That
gonna
face
be?
is priceless.
15.
No, how old are you going to be?
5.
And what is Mommy going to do here in a few minutes when you're done filming with Daddy?
Do a bath.
And
And
what's happening before the bath?
Cutting the face.
Not your
cutting your
face.
face. Cut your hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get a hair right now. Do.
Cut that, Mom.
Yeah, Daddy just got a haircut
And cut your nose off.
from my beautiful stylist.
Cut. I'm gonna cut your nose off. Let's see. Cut. I cut your nose.
He doesn't tip very well.
What? Wow, did you draw that?
Yeah.
And who is that?
Puppy dog pals.
Puppy dog pals. Wow.
Puppy dog pal.
And who is that?
Everest.
Everest.
See?
Wow, I like it, buddy. Very cool. All right, what do you want to say to everybody?
Bye.
Yeah, say we love you.
We love you.
Say make sure to
Subscribe. Down below.
make,
And side below. And this below. And down below. And this below. And over here below.
you're a natural, buddy.
And over here below.
And click here to see a new message that Congress just sent out to millions of Americans. Click on that video next. Thanks, and we will see you in the next video.
And subscribe down below here, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye-bye.
Bye.